Welcome back to the Nethercast, everyone. I am Cyborg, and I am joined, as always, by Temp, Shad, and Razor. We have episode 63 today, and boy, do we have some stuff to get to. So, with that said, let's jump right in. And I believe first up we had Brainiac's trailer. Is that correct?
Yep.
All right. So,
Big pimpin', spending G's.
let's start off with Temp. Thoughts on Brainiac's trailer?
I think it looks good. I was actually very impressed. His in-game model looks really good. I am praying that dive kick is not an ability. I am praying that is not gear specific, because that is by far my favorite part of Brainiac. I thought Django was going to be more happy about Brainiac. He seems like a very Django character. Django is not... he thinks he looks okay. I don't think he's super into the character, so I was surprised about that. Because he's really into the Omega Red, Takeda type characters, so... I don't know.
Apparently, Django sees a difference between whips and tentacles, and that turns him off for some reason.
I don't blame him. Some people just aren't comfortable with tentacles. I get it. I absolutely empathize. So yeah, I guess so. I think he's another zoner hybrid, but hybrid of... I don't know what the second part is. He doesn't look Rushdown to me. Well, no, he does. He has a dive kick. So yes, another zoner hybrid. Which is interesting. We got a big stack of those now. He looks good though. I was impressed. He looked better than much better than I anticipated. Although from the trailer we had last week, the final Shattered Alliance trailer, I thought he looked good even then. Even like in those small clips, I thought his in-game footage looked really good.
Yeah.
So I was kind of ready for him to be badass, and he was. I think he looks very good.
Right. I agree with you. I think he does look good. And his in-game model looks really good. His voice actor's great, as we touched upon last time. And yeah, his gameplay is really interesting. He's got some elements of several different characters from different games. He's got that Blanca thing where he kind of like goes into a hunched over stance, and he's got all the crazy tentacles coming out, just shooting all over the place. So he's just got some interesting stuff. I can't put my finger on what he is as well, like in terms of the archetype that he's going to fit, whether it be zoner hybrid or rushdown or whatever the hell it is, but he looks really, really interesting. And as the boss of the game that we could assume, I think he looks like a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to his inclusion in the game because he looks like a strong character.
I feel like NRS character is an archetype.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of truth to that. I think that is extremely true and has been true since MK9.
I enjoy the fact that from the footage we've seen from his boss form, he's kind of they're kind of going with the Street Fighter Alpha 3 M Bison final form archetype, and that it's a normal character in the game, but he's just kind of has these amped up super and special moves.
Right.
Like summoning down giant tentacles and stuff, making things harder and harder to dodge. It works. It's a good approach, and I don't actually see it used often as I would like. It's great. I kind of do wish there was some sort of, I don't know, Uber Brainiac, like I was saying last time, like we had Shinnok in it from K10, but this looks really, really good, and I'm beyond pleased with everything that I've seen. And his super's great. I quite enjoy the fact that he nukes his servants with that freaking beam that comes down from his ship.
Yeah.
I'm beyond pleased.
Robots, I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, do we know for sure there's not like a arcade boss fight mode? Because I mean, they wouldn't show that yet.
Well, they did actually show
leaks about it or anything.
Yeah, they did show Dr. Fate defeating him. And the cinematic that plays after he's defeated is actually probably one of the best they've done. It actually looks really good. It shows his like giant skull ship crashing into the earth, basically. But
oh yeah, I did see that.
Yeah,
it
looks good. So, I'm digging it. The character in general. Are any of us gonna play Brainiac? I don't have any plans to play Brainiac, but are any of you guys planning on potentially learning?
It would have to be a Shazam situation. Like if I just pick the character and just magic happens, which is precisely what happened with Shazam, then yeah, definitely I'll play him. There's nothing prohibit. I mean, there's some characters I will not play. Joker's one, and just clarification from last episode. I do like the Joker. It's just the things I like about him don't translate into a fighting game. Like I totally get why people are up on the Joker. Like I think the Joker's awesome. I am a little fatigued on the Joker
Yeah,
I
but
think we
just-
all are
yeah.
to a point.
very, very fatigued on the Joker, like all of
I-
mass media.
No, I'm going to be the odd guy out. It's not the character's fault that they throw him into everything. I love that character. I will always love that character. I
No, but like
understand the
I'm a
fatigue.
Wolverine
I
fan.
get it.
Like being a Wolverine fan, there was still a point in the late 90s and
Yeah.
2000s where I was like, he's on the cover of everything. I don't care anymore.
I
Well,
do understand that.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the middle between you guys, honestly. Like, Joker's still my favorite villain of all time, and one of my favorite characters. But I don't really have any desire to like see him in the game or play him just because I don't. I feel like you're saying is that Joker's been in just about everything, so I don't feel any need to really see him utilized in this because ultimately I want to see the characters that we haven't seen utilized. I want to see the characters that don't get that limelight played more, and I want to. I don't know. I'm just
So do I.
I'm somewhere
I
in
get
the
it.
middle.
But if there was 4 people in any DC game you would expect to show up, or think it's a no-brainer that they're going to show up because of company policy or
Right.
brand recognizability, Joker is probably number 4 behind Bats, Supes, and Wonder Woman. And
Yeah,
I'm not saying sit down, shut up, and deal with it. I'm just saying I don't know. Like
yeah.
I feel like he's to be expected in pretty much everything from here on out, whether we like it or not. So I've always been a huge fan of the character, going back to like my childhood and Caesar Romero and Jack Nicholson. I can never truly get tired of him, no matter how badly they mess him up. And I think that maybe on some level, had that awful, awful Killing Joke adaptation not come out a couple of months back, we might be a bit easier on the guy.
Sure.
I don't know. That's not really. For me, it was Suicide Squad. I think. Like, I didn't really care that. Like,
There's also that. I forgot about that because
they made Killing Joke lame. I didn't. That
Never going to.
didn't really enter in anything for me. Like, I didn't think about it. I like Barbara Gordon less because of that movie, but as a Joker movie, it doesn't really enter into it for me. But as far as like, will I play Brainiac? I'm open to it. Like, I'm gonna try everybody once just to get their arcade ending, and if I
Right.
like his gameplay, I'll stick with him. I mean,
Same.
I didn't really expect to become a Triborg player when the MKX DLC came out, but I ended up really liking Sector, so here we are.
Yeah. I was just kind of curious to gauge what the excitement level is for the character. I think we're all excited that he's in the game. I just didn't know whether anybody was really looking forward to playing him, so to speak. But it sounds like we're getting the general consensus that when we try him, if you're digging him and he gels, which is just for most characters, I feel like that is the case. If you gel with a character, unless it is a character that you just swear off or just have no desire in playing, like you feel like you'd be wasting your time because you just do not like the character, which I don't
And
think
there are
any of us-
characters like that.
Yeah, I know.
There's a lot of characters in this roster I won't go near for that reason, but yeah.
Sure. But yeah. Anyways, Chad, you were saying?
I'm looking forward to a great deal because this is kind of verging on like one of my dream game scenarios here, which was when MBC1 and MBC2 were coming out back in the day. I'm like, why don't we ditch all of these other assholes and just have ourselves a Capcom-made Spider-Man fighting game?
Right.
So this is as close as I'll ever get to like probably playing Doc Ock, unless they toss him in Marvel Infinite or whatever, what have you. But the thing that I appreciate is that he doesn't just feel like Doc Ock. Like, if it was actually Doc Ock, he'd be kind of floating in midair, suspended on 2 tentacles, and always walking around on them.
Sure.
Like, he uses them for support and for attack, and there's a nice balance. His own little laser moves, the dive kick. He doesn't feel like he's entirely reliant upon them. They just feel like a natural extension of the character
Right.
and his movement, and I really appreciate that. So,
Cool.
yes, I'm definitely going to give him the shot.
I would like to
Yeah.
toss in, though, that Dr. Octopus from Marvel vs. Capcom 3 was virtually finished before they scrapped him. I think the only thing that wasn't done was the cinematic animations. I think everything else was completed.
Just twist the knife a little bit more.
Well, it's funny. The thing I like best about Brainiac's gameplay isn't even the tentacles. I really like that orbital laser that, like, as it moves across the screen, it carries you with it towards him.
Yeah.
That is tight.
All right.
He's almost like the Quan Chi of the DC universe, but yeah. Go on.
All right. Well,
Yeah,
I was just
I
gonna...
don't-
Go ahead.
I
I don't know.
I can see it.
I suppose if I had to call someone the Quan Chi of the DC universe, it would probably be Joker, and that a lot of people are sick of him. But that's just how I feel about Quan
Havoc,
Chi.
right?
Say again?
Is the Joker not the Havoc of the DC universe?
Not the what? That word?
The Havoc?
I mean, in
The
terms
Havoc?
of character, sure, yeah.
Havoc is in like the shitty little brother of the more popular yet boring older one.
Oh, no. Mortal Kombat Deception Havoc.
Well, let's just
I don't know.
well, since we're talking about him, let's just jump into
They're
the
both
Joker.
agents of chaos, you see.
Okay, so thoughts on the Joker's gameplay, because it was leaked, and there wasn't a whole lot shown. So obviously,
I mean, all we saw
We got like a
we saw
minute of
somebody
it.
fighting against him.
Yeah,
so
as AI.
It's not very well.
No, I know.
doing,
Yeah, there's not a
you
whole
know,
lot to go
bar
off.
action.
It's not
Yeah.
a gameplay trailer or a breakdown or anything. But we do get to see what his base model looks like in the game. We get to see him with some gear. So there are some and also just some of his specials and attacks. So I mean, we do have a little bit of knowledge on him, not to speak like, final thoughts on him or anything, but just based on what we do have thoughts on him.
All I
Gameplay
really
wise,
remember seeing was he did the crowbar bash from the first game over and over again. So
Right.
He's got that little rolling gas thing that he had from the first time too, I believe.
He had a lot
It
of
just
those
looks very,
same
very
stuff, yeah.
familiar.
Yeah.
I didn't see anything particularly new going on.
Yeah, and we didn't get to see what his trait looked like, and his super only just got started, but that was ending a round, so we didn't get to see that played out either. But we did get to see his gear. We did get to see a model, like a little render or whatever, for his base form, which had like the sideways kind of emo hair, I guess. I don't know a better way to describe that, but it's kind of parted off to the side, and then you have...
Flip. It's a flip.
There you go. And then he's holding the cards, and he's holding the jacket, and he's shirtless. So it's kind of got a little bit of a Suicide Squad, Jared Leto vibe to it, just a tad. It's not like Jared Leto's Joker by any means, but it's got a little bit of that flavor. Yeah.
I mean, there's no tattoos. It looks like the Joker.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. That's why anybody that says that's Leto's Joker, you're going crazy. It's just got like a hint of it. That's all.
Also, like,
there's-
Leto's Joker had his hair slicked back. The hair's more ledgery to me.
Yeah, it is.
There's... You know what the weird thing about it is? It's the mouth. The thing that's really setting it apart from like the Joker that we saw in Injustice 1 is the mouth, because this looks like someone actually just sort of smeared lipstick on their face from what we've been able to see. I don't know like whether like the actual smile itself would be gear,
Yeah, I don't know.
but like
That's a good question. Or that's a good
That would
point.
be an interesting thing to do, because I mean, every Joker design does do the lips different.
because I mean, if there's any kind of ammunition for like the 428 reveal and like it being some sort of nod to Jason Todd, like this should be fucking horrible as far as I'm concerned. But one, if this is Jason Todd, or better yet, Tim Drake, the one that no one cares about, sadly.
It doesn't look like it's like
I don't think so either. But it's just
like he looks older and kind of chubby to me, honestly.
it's just
Like,
the mouth
I
is.
see
really
regular
suspect.
Joker, and also like, if you've been following the first few issues of the new comic, there's a character in there who seems like they might be Jason.
Ah.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I mean, that's a whole nother conversation, but
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I don't know, it's a guess, but
I doubt it. But yeah, I could see why people are saying that. But sticking with the Joker, I thought for a split second, hey, what if I might play the Joker? What if I did give him a chance? But as soon as I saw his gameplay, from what we saw of it, of course, it's just the tiniest little bit. And just seeing the way he was, I was like, yeah, not so much. I don't feel like that's anything I'm interested in, because he seemingly is a legacy character, being brought back from Injustice 1, plays very similar, and I'm sure he'll have a few tricks up his sleeve. No pun intended. He'll be like Flash in the sense that he'll have some extra specials and abilities, just like every other character. But it's not like a complete revamp of the Joker or anything like that. So to me, I don't really see any interest from my side of things in this character this go around. And I know there are people that are fans of the character, and yeah, cool for you. And I hope he ends up looking like a lot of fun once he actually gets a proper trailer and a breakdown, not just a boring AI character that barely does anything. So, but just so far from what I've seen, I'm not terribly interested.
I feel the same way about it, because like there are returning characters who like I've seen their gameplay and I'm like, yeah, I'll play the Flash, yeah, I'll play Catwoman, but then like Batman and Superman I have no interest in playing in this game because like I didn't really like him in the first one and they don't look different enough, and
Sure.
I feel like that's going to be how it is with the Joker because I really didn't like his gameplay in the first game.
Right. Shad, any
Well, let me
thoughts?
just yeah.
I'll still give him a shot. Remember, I disliked Injustice 2 because of how the gameplay felt and the sluggishness of it all. I didn't dislike the way Joker played. It was a lot of fun to whack people around with that crowbar, from what I recall.
Okay.
I will give him a shot. It's just that my instinct, just looking at these two main screenshots we have of him here, the Le Joker one, this might be, alternate French universe Joker, as I've said in the Facebook group, and the one where he's like brandishing the knife in the midst of the super, there was just something so intriguingly, I'm getting this different vibe, like this is not the normal Joker that we know. And I'm very intrigued, so I want to know what's up with him. I wasn't going to be a fan of the character. That shoulder pad is hideous. It's got to go. That's horrible gear. And that's all I got to say about that. I'm looking forward to tomorrow.
Temp, you were saying?
I haven't seen the footage. When it comes to the gameplay, I'm somewhere between Shadaloo and Razor. I actually thought his gameplay was really interesting. I am told he's probably the worst character in the game, at the very least, bottom 3. I'm not clear why he's so bad. I thought his zoning was okay. I thought his little shatter traps, I thought those were okay. His combo damage was decent. Not really sure why he was so terrible. And he got buffs throughout the
I think
throughout the series.
If I were to guess, and this is based on nothing but my own experience, like I have no idea what people online felt about the character at all, but if I were to guess what it was that was making him like no good tier wise, like he had a lot of wind up and very slow like on his melee attacks. Like I feel like if you were trying to play him rush down, you're just gonna get stuffed.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I guess he would have trouble kind of getting anything started if he was in the neutral. I could see that for sure. Yeah, a lot of characters in Injustice 1 who were supposedly, quote, bad. I'm like, I don't get it. What's wrong with this character? Lex Luthor was another one. I didn't think Lex Luthor was that bad. People said Hawkgirl was bad, but I think that kind of faded in time. We now know Hawkgirl was pretty good. As for the Injustice 2 Joker, I didn't see any of the footage, so the trailer's tomorrow. I figured there's no point. Because I want to give him a chance,
Sure.
I've been very vocal about not caring about the Joker, but I want to let NetherRealm sway me,
Well, yeah, I'm always open. If the trailer's good, the trailer's good. For me, it's like I have so many characters stacked onto my plate as it is. Joker doesn't really fit into all of that. And I like the character. I'm looking for every reason to play the character, but when you throw Ivy at me, Fate at me, Scarecrow at me, etc., like Joker, I feel like I've had my fill of the Joker in the sense that I've gotten a lot of enjoyment out of the Joker's presence, whereas I haven't so much gotten that with some of the other characters that I'm looking to play. I haven't had that, even though in the Arkham games you don't get to play as the Joker other than those little side missions and stuff, the challenges or whatever. It's like I feel like through games, through movies, through the animated series, through the comics, I've gotten the Joker like a million times. I feel like I wear every day to work. I wear Joker Converse, Joker and Batman Killing Joke Converse. Like I've been surrounded by the Joker, whereas it's like I'm kind of looking to represent other characters now. I want to see Ivy in gameplay. I want to see Scarecrow used. Whereas Joker, I feel like if I miss out on him this time, it's only going to make him fresher for me. I feel like if I force Joker right now, it's just like, then I'm just forcing Joker just because it's the Joker. So I don't know. That's kind of where I'm coming from. But if the trailer's good, I hope his gameplay is amazing. I hope it wins me over and everybody else over because the character is still, I love the character. So I don't wish anything bad upon him or anything.
It's an insurance policy. Like, I don't want anyone to say later, oh, you just don't like the Joker because you saw the shitty leaked footage of him jabbing all day. Like, that's what I don't want. Like, I want to say that I don't like the Joker, but I gave him every opportunity to sway me. Like that, I guess that's what I'm saying. I don't foresee even though I honestly don't mind his legacy gameplay. I thought his legacy gameplay was okay. But no, he loses by comparison, and that's unfortunate. But that's just the way I feel.
Fuck y'all.
Go on, John.
All right.
Luke.
He's still funny. Nah. I totally get where you're coming from, but I'm about to switch places with you guys when it comes to Darkseid, and we'll see about that.
All right. Well, let's move on. Before we get to Darkseid, let's kind of, because I feel like we'll save Darkseid for last, because he's the one that we actually kind of last kind of
I have a
really
bit to
got
say
that.
about.
Yeah. But next, let's move on to the actual character combos that we got to see. So we got to see Scarecrow and we got to see Dr. Fate broken down. So now let's kind of, and also a little bit of Green Arrow and a little bit of Deadshot. So they catch up and Mustard on their channel. Check out their YouTube channel. I'm sure you've all heard of them. They are popular competitive players, and yeah, they really broke down these characters and had some great kind of little tips for them and just how they play. So I kind of wanted to touch upon that because I thought those videos were really, really good. We'll start off with Scarecrow because this video for Scarecrow was tremendous. It honestly sold the character for me in terms of his gameplay. The trailer and the stream did that, but this was like, hey man, this character looks like a beast. He looks like a lot of fun to play, and he just looks like a super big menace, which is perfect for the character. You should be shitting your pants and puckering that asshole when Scarecrow is on the other side of the screen from you, which is perfect for the character. So
Agreed.
I love the idea that you do not feel safe. You aren't sure whether you should go, you should attack him because he may just be waiting it out, ready to punish that shit. And I think that's tremendous. And he's got a lot of little tools and stuff with his chain, and they were showing off a lot of his combos, and it's just crazy. And the reach he has from the sweep range is nuts, and a lot of little nuances of the character is just so damn good. Plus his intros, dear God, his intros are so damn good. I love how he just taunts each one of his opponents and just plays upon their fears. And with Robert Englund's voice there, it's just so perfect. So yeah, I am super sold on this character. Right now, he's penciled in as my number 3 in terms of behind Fate and Ivy on the next character that I really want to learn. But he looks like a lot of fun, so I'm really digging it.
He is my number 1, and I have to give a big shout out to Ketchup and Mustard for being nice enough to break him down for us like that. I think I have a much better sense of how to play him. And my own fear that he might be ass tier, as I espoused a couple of weeks ago, yes, I might have to eat crow on that one because a lot of good points have just been brought up. So, looking forward to this. I have to learn me some varied combos. Can't make the same mistake I used to make with Molina, like learning 3 things and calling it a fucking day. I'll have to learn how to be unpredictable.
Oh yeah, he's going to thrive on unpredictability. The more you can just fuck with your opponent on all the options that he's offering, you really will just intimidate the shit out of your opponent in terms of scaring them and making them feel so unsafe on any of their actions. He will be somebody that you can take online night 1. If you even have a decent, like a remotely decent Scarecrow, you're going to be mopping the floor with people. So I think that would be tremendous. There's so many good things to say about this character in my opinion. But Razor, your thoughts on Scarecrow?
I mean, to be honest, I haven't watched the video yet, so.
All right, that's fair.
But I'm glad to hear that it sounds like he's going to be up there in the tiers, because I was also afraid that he'd be one of those characters who looks really cool but isn't viable.
Sure, yeah, I completely agree. You want him to at least be a threat.
Yeah, it's like Sinestro in the last game, that's a really cool guy, and I want him to be awesome, and then you find out, he's the worst.
I'm looking at him, and the big fear that I have, and still partially have going in, is Street Fighter 4 Gen, has the tools, is very, very adept in the right hands, but might just be tricky to actually pull off correctly. We'll see.
Yeah, tricky is an interesting word because I'm going to get to that with Fate. But Temp, you had thoughts on that?
Oh, I thought Sinestro. I mean, he was bad at first because A, it was pre-patch, and B, I don't know if he just didn't have his Vortex yet, or if we just didn't know about it. But Sinestro ended up being even low tier Sinestro. I thought was a lot of fun. So no, but go on, Cyborg.
No, your thoughts on Scarecrow?
Oh, this character's fucking broken.
You know what I have to say to that?
What's that?
Good.
No,
fear me.
Let me. I'll put it this way. Maybe it's possible his speed will balance him out. The teleport is full punishable. If you're not committing to an animation, and that's a very important disclaimer there. If you're committing to an animation, like, I don't know, trying to zone, which you're going to be far away from naturally because his tools are so long-reaching, then yes, it is punishable, but a tool that is useful only on read is not a bad tool. We'll see. I mean, I've had to eat so much shit since we started this podcast because I've said something with full confidence and I've been wrong. So maybe this will be another one of those. Maybe I'll be wrong. I think he looks stupid, but yeah, I think he's going to be really good. We won't know for sure until we see the frame data. And also, a lot of this could change, but he's got a ton of meds and he can cancel them. So in theory, as long as he can cancel into that chain, he'll never really be a disadvantage because he'll just go away. Is he there? He's gone now. Or if you're not blocking, he's going to spend a bar of fucking meter and put you into a combo. And his damage doesn't even look that bad. Again, that could change. That could be different. Maybe his damage input's not going to be too crazy when the game comes out, but I think this character looks ridiculous. And again, I could be wrong. I am by no means like an expert, nor have all my not even half my predictions have probably been true. We'll see. We will see. I don't know. I'm sometimes scared to say anything, but we'll see.
I would rather he be stupid good than shit. So I'm happy for that. Let's start high and then we'll work our way down a little bit instead of starting really low where people just give up on the character. So
this game is giving me the distinct impression that it's not so much a matter of there being shit characters. It's a matter of the fact that everyone can do so goddamn much. Like, I have a hard time picturing anyone as actually garbage in this game except for maybe Deadshot, but we'll see about that.
Yeah, I don't know.
So you think it'll function like Killer Instinct, where everybody's broken in their own way?
Pretty much, yeah. That's probably the best example. I was thinking of MVC too, but there's not enough overly broken examples in that game so much that like everyone's balanced out. It really is just a bunch of broken people than people who are more broken than the broken people.
Sure.
In a special kind of broken way.
Yeah, and I think the abilities will play into that as well. I mean, even characters that struggle, the abilities are going to save them. Characters that are good, the abilities are going to possibly make them even better. So I guess we'll see how that all breaks down over time and see how they patch things and how they go about that whole process. Like I said, I'm just more worried about characters off the bat just being like not fun. I'd rather have a character be stupid but a lot of fun to play and play against than a character that's just absolutely boring or uninteresting or just completely useless. Like, I don't know. But you were saying?
Yeah. Well, I certainly think, Shadowloo's right. Everyone's ridiculous. And I'm actually super glad you mentioned that, Shadowloo, because one thing I always try to remind myself about Injustice 2 is that I'm as excited as I am now, as happy I am about the characters, as much as I can't wait to go into the lab and break these characters down, I have to kind of quietly remind myself that when this game comes out, the salt is going to be unreal. Injustice is the only game in history I ever quit because of salt. I was just that pissed off at the game.
Yikes.
I didn't do it consciously, but I was like, fuck this Scorpion bullshit. I never played the game again. I didn't know that was going to happen, but that's what I have to remind myself. Injustice is all about gimmicks. It's a very, very gimmick-heavy game. And the unfortunate thing about Injustice is if you go into a matchup against a competent player and you don't know the match, you're dead. Like, if he knows the match and you don't, you're pretty much dead. Deathstroke, Catwoman wasn't even tier. But if you don't know how to fight her, you're fucked. So that's kind of like quietly what I tell myself. It's just like, be ready to count your losses. That's how I'm kind of preparing for the game. Because Injustice is crazy in that sense. It's fucking Thunderdome. So that's the mentality I try to keep with Injustice for sure.
Who runs Sarder Town? Okay.
Doomsday, apparently. So, yeah.
So, let's...
I hope they bring Ferrator back one day.
Let's move on to Dr. Fate's breakdown video, which was actually just posted up by Ketchup Mustard onto YouTube. And so we got a little bit more of Dr. Fate shown off and kind of a breakdown of him as well. And I will start off by saying I still really want to play this character, and he's still my top two mains, but dear God, does he look like super fucking tricky and tough to nail down. I don't even know what to do with myself. A lot of his combos they involve directions and buttons at the same time. Like you have to do back 3, then up 3, then forward 2, and like all these weird ass directions you have to press while you're doing the buttons for the combos, which I don't know about anybody else, but that shit trips me up when I'm trying to remember combos, multiple combos, and do that, not just remember them, but do them like consistently in an actual matchup, a competitive, stressful matchup. That's tough to get all those damn directions just perfect right each time and not mix them up and jumble them up while you're trying to pull it off. But he's got all sorts of crazy stuff and setups and things you have to kind of remember to do. But yeah, man, he looks intense. I'm still excited to play him. He looks like $1 million when he's actually played, and I think he looks like a ton of fun. And he'll certainly be rewarding if you can get him down. But holy crap, you're gonna have to put in work for him.
I'm thinking he's going to be a lot like, not in terms of gameplay, but in terms of just style, I think he's going to be a lot like MK9 Smoke, where he has enough options where you can kind of play him the way you want to. If you want to do the crazy stuff, you can. But like MK9 Smoke, if you wanted to, some people just like, they turtled and they anti-aired and they did whiff punish down forward and whiff punish back 2. Like that's all they did. Right. They didn't bother with like the smoke bomb trap. They didn't bother like pressuring with like down 1s and down 3s. They didn't do, back 2 tick. They didn't fuck with any of that, They just did traditional like turtle defensive styled smoke. I think Dr. Fate's gonna be the same way. If you just want to zone, like if you do 1-1-3, my understanding that's a knockback chain. So, not 1-1-3, zone when they get close enough for safety and you're good. Just save your meter for when you need it. If you want to get crazy, you can. I think it's a sign of a good gameplay design, but we'll see.
All right. Any other thoughts on the Dr. Fate?
None as such.
Okay.
Since it just went up, I didn't get around to watching it.
Okay.
But I think Temps on something with that smoke analysis in comparison.
Yeah, the downside, like, with MK9 Smoke was, if all you could do was, like, a couple of things, he'd get boring to play.
Yeah, that's true.
Like I always knew with Smoke, like, there are options there. All I'm doing is Smoke Bomb and Teleport Punch. I wish this character had more projectiles.
Hey, I used to whip out that teleport in the corner just to mess with people to think I was teleporting behind them, but I went back and then started a combo.
Mm. I don't think wishing he had more projectiles will be a problem at all with Fate, but
I think it comes with a zoner mentality. The whole point of being a zoner is you just want to watch your opponent fail. And it's like, I'm going to do nothing and you're going to lose. Enjoy. That's kind of what the zoner mentality is. Which is why I always say Glacius is not a traditional zoner because he has to work his fucking ass off. But Sagat is a traditional zoner in my opinion. And like, I'm going to do one thing if I feel like it, and there's nothing you can do about it. So I think that's why, that is not me, by the way. My smoke was very much a mid-range footsie offense, a safe, low-risk offensive smoke. That was more my style, because that's what's interesting to me. I mean, you're right. I definitely, if I was just throwing smoke bombs all day, I wouldn't dig it. But like that, some people get off on that. They just want to fucking like frustrate the opponent. That's the whole zoning mentality. So yeah, I don't know, but I hear you.
I didn't want to do smoke bombs all day, but I felt like that's all I could do, which left me with this feeling that MK9 Smoke never had enough moves, which is why I liked so much that they gave him the harpoon back in X.
Yeah, well, it's true that you can't really rush down with his specials because his specials are all context related. Like he has like a projectile parry. The smoke bomb, of course, but the teleport's only used to check the opponent. It'll get blown up if you use it offensively. So yeah, I absolutely understand that. God, I love MK9. I'd love to play MK9 again, but
all right. Anyway. Well, sticking with Dr. Fate here, his intros sound great. I love his intros. Anybody else see the intro video where there's like 30 intros or 68 intros?
Yeah,
Pieces,
I love. They included the line, it's like a famous line between Superman and the Flash where he's like, remember all those races we ran? And Superman's like, yeah, I won some of them. And then Barry just goes,
for charity.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good one. There's potentially Talia al Ghul is dead.
Yeah, I didn't like that, obviously.
But I mean, it's Talia al Ghul. She can come back alive at any point. So.
If your last name is Al Ghul, it does not count.
So I mean, there's not a I wouldn't.
You're getting dunked
that,
in some green. You're gonna be fine.
Yeah, I wouldn't consider that as like discounting her from any sort of future appearance or anything like that. But yeah, it's nice. I love that Scarecrow just takes all those low, cheap shots at people. Like he's just like, oh, you couldn't save her. Or Cyborg, would Daddy approve Cyborg? Like, just I love that he just fucks with people. It's just so great.
If Red Hood's in the game, it's gonna be, you know what, crowbars, and then the match is just gonna start. It's gonna be
that could be fun. That could be fun.
Yeah, Scarecrow's just fantastic. I think he's a show stealer so far in terms of just the whole package. But let's move on to there's not really a whole lot else other than multiverse mode. We got to see a little bit more, but I don't have a whole lot to say on that other than it looks interesting. It's an interesting concept.
It's exactly towers.
Towers. All there is to it.
Yeah.
Like
with different skins, but that's what's going on.
Like there wasn't much substance to today's stream, but the one thing that I do remember hearing that actually felt like information and was kind of disappointing to me was the mention that in multiverse mode, the gear on your opponent will be like randomized as opposed to like maybe there will be worlds that have a theme.
Yeah.
But like I don't know, it sounds like there's going to be a lot of filler.
Yeah, I can definitely get that. So that's why I'm just like, to me, I never really got into towers, honestly, and I can't see myself getting too into multiverse mode for that exact reason. It's just there to give people something to play.
The holiday towers, or like how they decorate the tower itself,
right?
Like what they could do graphically. That, like, it seemed like they went to a lot of work that they didn't need to do. That I was really impressed by in terms of like.
Sure.
Making like the lights and the little torches on the side of the tower a thing and all that sort of stuff.
Right.
The St. Patty's Day leprechauns were a really, really charming touch.
Yeah. Or like the Easter one, they had a giant model of a monstrous Easter bunny running around in the background.
Yes.
I missed out on all that. I unfortunately never bothered with the towers, and I kind of regretted that.
All right.
I did want to say though.
Late. What was that?
Well. One thing, first of all, I hated Star Labs. Star Labs is like the worst thing ever from Injustice 1. But I don't know if I would have hated it as much if I actually got something cool for all my work. So now that gear is coming into play, I think I might be a little more tolerant this time, but I hope it's better. Star Labs was awful.
Well, Star Labs...
That was basically
Star Labs... What bothered me about it was they had a lot of like creative missions the way MK9's Challenge Tower did, which is what I wanted. But they did this stupid thing where, like, you had to beat so many to unlock more. And, like, 9 sort of had that. You had to linearly climb your way up the tower. Each one you'd beat unlocked the next one. But you could spend money to unlock them, too. And they didn't have that in Injustice.
There was just... I looked at the amount of work that I had to do and the amount of work that I had to do to unlock more work for absolutely no reward. They just went... Yeah, no thanks. I honestly don't think I got much farther into Star Labs than like shortly past the tutorial and 2 or 3 missions before I just went, fuck this.
Yeah, I don't think I ever finished it. It's just I didn't. Yeah.
Well, like they overhyped the MK9 tower. You unlock the fucking naked Melina
pits, yeah.
Yeah, but like they had a couple costumes you could unlock from Star Labs too that were cool, and I never got them because fucking, again, like, I wanted them. Like, one of them was a version of Lex where there was, like, chunks of kryptonite sticking out of joints in his armor.
Yeah.
And was, I think the Flash one where he had, like, the scuba thing on his mask.
Yeah, I think that was the last one you get or something like that.
Yeah. Like, I wanted those, but it wasn't worth the work.
Right. Yeah.
That's hard to do, too, by the way. Like, I have a history of playing modes I don't enjoy just because it's there. I feel like I need that sense of completion.
Sure.
So it takes a really bad mode for me not to do that. I don't know. Like, I like the Challenge Tower. I thought the Challenge Tower was fun. So yeah, if I have gear, it'll be better. I think if I have some sort of tangible reward that can motivate me, I don't mind doing modes I don't like. So that's the difference here, in my opinion. And maybe it'll be better. Maybe it won't be as bad.
All right.
I'm hoping.
Well, let's move on to Darkseid then, because I think he is the last big kind of reveal that we want to cover, and then we can give some predictions here as well after that. But all right, with Darkseid, I will lead off on this one because I actually was really happy with Darkseid, and shout out to Ishii, I want to say, because Ishii put on the Facebook group, he's actually, I think he's actually going to buy the game now because of Darkseid. So Darkseid's reveal trailer and him getting shown off was like, Ishii did not think he was going to buy the game at all, and that changed everything. He said he was just blown away by the character, and he thinks it's a character that he'd really love to play. So anyways, so that's cool. But as far as the character goes, first we got like his intro shown, and then we got his super shown. Like both of them were leaked, and then we got his actual trailer today. So first of all, I want to say the character model looks fantastic in my opinion. I love the silver and gray, or the blue and gray, I should say. I love that color combo, and it looks really, really good here. I think his model looks fantastic. I could care less about what any of his gear looks like because I think his base model itself looks tremendous. And then next up, his specials, let's start simple. The way his fighting stance is fantastic. I love that he holds his arms behind his back and just holds his hands like that. It's just like, I don't give a fuck. It's Morpheus. It's just, I'm not even trying that hard to fight you. It just looks really, really good. It looks very disciplined, just all over the place. It looks really, really awesome, and it gives the character a lot of personality right out of the gate. If you just see, it's much like Black Adam. Black Adam has his arms crossed in front of him. When you see the character just standing there like that, that already screams personality, and it screams style. And I love characters with a certain style, and you get that from Darkseid just out of the gate. And then the way his attacks go, and obviously the big appeal to him this time around is his Omega beams are fantastic. They're all over the place, first of all. He's got one that just jettisons across the screen, zigzagging all over the place, and it looks like it hits like high or medium or whatever. And then he has one that actually goes low, so it's like jettisoning all over the place, but then it goes low down on the screen towards his opponent's feet and travels across the screen. Those just look so unpredictable. Then you throw in the one that goes behind him, so he actually turns around, blasts it from behind him, and it comes from the other side of the screen and hits his opponent in the back. I'm sure maybe something like that might be an ability, but we don't really know as far as, right now goes. But those Omega beams... I really
hope it's base.
I hope so too. His Omega beams look phenomenal. The way they're animated and just the whole effect as a whole just looks really good. But then you throw in some of his specials, or his base normals, like his little roundhouse kick, like his windmill kick, I should say, looks really good. That looks like it's an overhead, and he's just got so many awesome things. And the way he attacks his opponent, he does one where he jumps up in the air and just grabs them, and just looks like you're going to get fucked now. And then, of course, he also has the trait where he calls in the Parademon, which I didn't really understand that. He also has a teleport. And then his super, of all things, he just turns around and gives no fucks. He just turns his back to his opponent because he does not respect them at all. He turns his back, and then he gives the little, slow head turn back towards them, which looks super badass. And then he blasts his beams going forward, of course, and it jettisons over his head. It goes crazy, and we saw the full thing in the actual trailer, where it goes, low. It goes low down towards his opponent's feet, almost. And then, if it doesn't hit, it comes all the way back towards Darkseid, but then kind of circles back around and goes towards his opponent again, high this time. It just looks insane, and just style out the ass with this thing again, because it hits his opponent. They go all through space, going crazy, jettisoning this way and that, and then eventually a giant boom tube portal opens up. He grabs him with his ginormous hand. It stops him. You think his opponent just hit a planet or some shit in the air, but then it's actually his hand. He pulls him through, throws him back down. It's animated really well. It looks really good. This character is fantastic. I had interest in the characters very grazing interest of like, hey, I might want to try him. But then as soon as he actually got shown, that might be my number 4. And that's honestly how I feel right now. I might play this character because he just looks like unlike any other thing that I'm playing currently, and he has so much style that I feel like if I'm using those Omega Blasts, I'm having a good time.
I agree with pretty much everything you said there. He looks spectacular. Like I love like he's doing jumping knees and his hands are still behind his back.
Yes.
Like this is the most casual thing in the world for him. There's just so much character in all of his animations, and I love in his super, like when the beams carry them into space, it like deliberately steers them into every piece of wreckage and satellite in orbit.
Yeah. And yeah, speaking on keeping his hands behind his back during his attacks, like his he does like a backhand swat. Like he just swats them away as like his I don't know if it's his back 3. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because it knocks him back towards the end of the screen, so that's how you can activate transitions. But he does this backhand swat with one hand, and his other hand's properly back behind his back, like as if he's like a fucking like waiter or something, or chauffeur, not a chauffeur, but
Butler?
something like that. Yeah, I'm thinking like a butler, because he just has his other hand just properly behind his back. Like it just looks so nice, waiting for his other hand to come back so he can hold his own hands again. It just looks, he just looks so damn awesome. He looks like a boss. He looks like a fucking like, just, yeah, he doesn't have to put up with your shit. He doesn't have to try. He doesn't have to break a sweat on you. You're not worth his time. It just looks good. Yeah, I'm blown away by this character. I don't really play slow characters like him, but he's not like, he doesn't seem like...
He's not like
yeah,
Goro, you know, like...
Yeah, he's not a plodding character by any means where he's just slowly moving around.
He's more like Jax, I would say, like someone who hits heavy but moves fast when they need to.
Yeah, he's slow at parts, but he's very quick at other parts. So he can be he's deceptively fast. So yeah, he's just interesting. I'm really fascinated by this character, and his special moves give him a ton of style, and just his, I don't know, I don't play big bruisers like him, but he definitely has me super intrigued, and he's one of those characters that I can't say for sure that I'll play, but I'm definitely going to try and make it work, and if it gels, and then boom, there we go, I'm going to have a great time. If it doesn't gel, okay, I'll put him back on the shelf, and hopefully somebody else picks him up.
It looks like the parademon summon is just it's just like a trap. Like it stands there and then it explodes, like it's a suicide bomber.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure, and I have no idea what his other specials could be, or gear, or any of that shit. I'm sold on the character from what we got to see. Don't know what of it was abilities or anything like that, but just his Omega Beam effect in itself just looks really good to me. So they pulled that shit off really, really well. They nailed it. Chad, thoughts?
Okay. Now, like they've mentioned on the Facebook, I've never been a fan of this character. Like, I've taken a shit on the character in the past, and I'm not about to stop. However, this is the best the character has ever looked, bar none. This outfit right here he's wearing, this should be his default outfit in the comics going forward. All major continuities should start with this as a reference point. Because I've always thought he looks like a big stupid fucking Necklace Wonder trash can with a bullet head and a ridiculous mini skirt that does not suit his gigantic towering frame. I can't stand regular Darkseid's appearance. I just can't. It just looks off and dated to me. But this...
I mean, he is usually like a naked stone man in a plain blue freak suit.
I still love that damn Image comic where he's like, I'll never take this off. And he didn't.
Oh, thanks, guys. I'm not taking it off ever.
But like, they went...
of smoke, man.
This is good.
They went
He's got thigh-high boots, too. Like, if he wasn't so thick, you'd expect him to be voiced by Tim Curry.
Pretty much. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I've just never been a fan of the character. I've always been a Thanos guy. It's a situation where I feel like the copy is much superior to the original. But fucking hell, man, the guy radiates style, and they nailed his arrogance, the feeling that his opponent is in every way, shape, and form beneath him. There was kind of a comparison to be made with Guilty Gear's Slayer, in that you get that sense he is not taking this fight seriously. You are a bug to him. Slapping people with one hand while the other one's behind his back is a thing that Darkseid has and does do. The only way that they could perfect this and make it a science is if he didn't have a lying down unconscious lose animation. If he just fucking walked off uninterested, like how Slayer. No, I'm deadly serious. It's like
no, you're right.
In Guilty Gear, Slayer, for those of you guys out there not listening and never played the games, Slayer is a centuries-old vampire, and all of his matches, he is literally just fucking around, flailing his fists, giggling, blowing smoke in people's faces, tripping them up, and he doesn't have an unconscious animation. He just lies down because he's bored. So like that would be perfect for Darkseid. He just walks off. Fuck this. I'm tired of it. I'm wandering away. Anyway, that aside, flawless execution. And I've said it before, I'm getting this game for free. That's one of the big reasons that I'm probably going to be down for the season pass. And yes, I will pay for a character, assuming I don't get hooked up with a pre-order code by my connector. Assuming I do not get hooked up with a code, I will pay for Darkseid because he looks that good. And that super almost rivals Flash's as like god tier. It's wonderful. Does that thing actually fucking track you if you dodge it once? Because if so, Jesus Christ, how horrifying and how fitting. Because that's the shtick with the Omega memes. You're not supposed to be able to dodge them. They find their target.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. People shat on Justice League. It was this thing, the cartoon, Justice League Unlimited, because Batman dodged Darkseid's Omega beams.
Well, what Batman actually did was hide behind a parademon, which is viable.
But, like, I remember there was a big stink about that. Like, you're not supposed to be able to do this thing. They're supposed to always hit their target. And if they made this so that, like, you'd have to be really proficient at dodging in order to actually pull that off, or you needed to block it, fuck. Yeah, A++, we'll try.
Cool.
I just, putting this out there. Please give him a McDonald's hat as gear. That's all I ask.
That'd be great.
That could be tight. That could be sick.
Temp, thoughts?
Yeah, it looks good. It looks really good. I'm watching the trailer right now. That's why I'm kind of distracted. I think he looks amazing. I kind of wanted to check him out for a long time, just because his model was so good and the Goro Lives ender they were doing for him.
Right.
I think his gameplay looks spectacular. This is probably the first time we have a non-hybrid character in a long time. He actually looks like a true zoner with like power strikes. He doesn't look like he's going to be doing like frame traps and shit. Well, okay, let's start with a positive. I think the zoning looks badass. I love the special moves. We'll get into that in a second. The animations and the stance, all that's really well done. The model's almost 100%. I think the arms are a little weird. I do think he looked a little better in the trailer promos. But the arms, some of the arms do look a little bit off, but it's not bad. He still looks really good. He kind of looks like Tremor in space, which is not a bad thing. That's a very workable design. His renders on the website. Well, I mean, look at the website. It's fucking Tremor in space. But I like it. It looks good.
If they hadn't vastly improved on Tremor's design and entire existence in MKX, this would be worse than Leprechaun in space as a concept. I'm just getting that across.
I just saw that movie. Is that weird? But that's the good. The bad isn't even really bad. It's just they've really burned me on putting really cool shit in the trailer and then making it an ability in the game. Ever since Captain Cold, I'm scared to get excited about anything. So I'm scared for Brainiac's dive kick, and I'm scared for Darkseid's Dragon Punch. When he does that Dragon Punch, but instead of knocking you away, he grabs you by the throat in the air and just burns you with his eyes, and then slams you down for a launcher. That is like the sickest shit on the planet. and I don't know if I can use it in the competitive mode. So that's the only thing I don't like about it. Like, I'm very scared to get attached to any of this stuff, and that's just one example. There's a lot of things that I think look super sick, and just I don't know yet. I need more data, and they're not always great at data, so we don't know. I don't know.
I know that feel, bro.
Yeah, just when I found out I couldn't do the ice climber shit with Captain Cold, that was a real bummer. So I'm hoping Brainiac has his dive kick, and I'm really hoping he has that uppercut. And he has a low laser. He has a low laser. You have to block low. That's crazy. I don't think that hits mid. That's gonna be insane. Like, if that's viable, or when I say viable, I mean like that doesn't require meter. It's just a vanilla standard competitive low laser. That's gonna be insane because it's fast. It's super fast. I don't know. He looks really good though. Like, don't let any of that distract from the fact that the character looks awesome. He does look amazing. And I mean, now that everyone's excited to play him, I may just kind of leave him in peace, and see what you guys do with him. Because I'm probably actually, him and Brainiac are about the same, so we'll see who's more popular. If no one's playing Brainiac, I'll play Brainiac. If no one's really feeling Darkseid, I'll play Darkseid. Well, or neither. Maybe I'm not going to gel with either character. I don't know.
Yeah.
So that's all I got.
Cool. All right. Well, the last little thing I wanted to leave off with, now we got Darkseid sitting there, is when I was talking to Redman, actually, an interesting thing got brought up, because tomorrow, depending on when you listen to this, it'd probably be today, if you're listening to this on Friday, well, we have another stream. Hopefully this one's better than the one on Thursday, because Thursday didn't show off a whole lot. It was more like interviews and stuff. But on Friday, they did say that there would be character reveals. So I don't know if Darkseid was part of that, but they did say character reveals. We know we're getting Joker, but then you got to wonder, if we're getting reveals, who else could be there? Because we know the final roster is 29 characters, as they've confirmed. So there's no like X factors that are going to surprise us, which only leads to, a couple things. Maybe we're getting premiere skins shown off, or maybe, and it's not out of the realm of possibility, maybe we're getting the first stretch of DLC announced. Like maybe not trailers or anything, but maybe it's like a announcement or like a render or something of these characters. And if we are to assume that they are in packs of 3, and we're going to get 3 packs of 3, maybe the first 3 characters get announced tomorrow, because it's not... I mean, MKX announced their characters. The first pack got announced about 2 or 3 weeks before the game came out. We're at that stage now. This game we will have in our hands in 2.5 weeks. So we could be getting the announcement of the first DLC characters. And the only reason I bring this up for discussion is, let's predict who we think might be those first 3. But let's go one further. Let's not predict. Let's just say, if you were to make a pack of 3 characters with the assumption that one has to be a guest and one has to be a female character, who would you put in that first pack of 3? Let's not focus on the 9. Let's not worry about the other 6 that are to come down the road. Let's just say if tomorrow the first 3 are announced, who do you think would do the most for this game in terms of making people happy? Because obviously I think the roster is making most people happy, but there are still those outliers that people are waiting for, really clamoring for. Who would you... And we'll go in a round table here. I want to know what everyone thinks those 3 characters should be, at least the first pack. Like I said, we don't have to worry about the following packs, but that first 3 characters, who would you choose to make, to garner the most hype? And I will start, because I already put some thought in this that'll give you guys some time to think about. Right off the bat, here's what I'm thinking. If we get one male character, 1 guest character, and 1 female character, at least for the first pack, it may not follow that formula going forward, but for the first pack, that's what I would guess. I would say the first guest character, I don't foresee us starting with Sub-Zero. I think the most likely is we're going to start with Spawn. Spawn makes the most sense, so let's start with Spawn. Okay, he's the guest character of the bunch. That's going to garner a shit ton of hype leading into the game. You're going to maybe get some more pre-orders of people that really want to play Spawn. Whatever. That leaves us the female and the male. I don't foresee Red Hood and Starfire being thrown in the same pack, because those are the commonly, almost unanimously, the 2 top leading DLC poll people that everyone seems to be clamoring for. Well, not everyone, but you know what I mean. They are the most highly requested, so I don't see them being in the same pack because you would want to think you want to space that out a little bit so that way you get more people to buy it throughout and you don't want to blow your load too early. So let's just say, I say Red Hood gets pushed to maybe pack 2, and then we do Starfire for the female of this case. So now we have Spawn and Starfire. That leads to a male character. What's a male character that's really going to get people excited, people hyped? Then you got to look at the other highly requested characters. You have your Constantines. You have, are we going to get Nightwing back? Is it going to be Deadwing from the comics? So it's going to be some hybrid. Because I don't foresee Nightwing being brought back in his legacy form. I expect him to be brought back and then have some legacy moves, but then maybe being comboed with Deadman for Deadwing and give him some more abilities and specials that kind of represent that hybrid character. Anyways, my 3 that I'm going to choose that I think would do the best for the game, like hype factor and garner some interest, would be Spawn, Starfire, and Black Manta. That way, you can shut the people up that want Black Manta, and he is, like, commonly on polls, he is in top 5, top 6, so he deserves that spot.
I was about to say, I thought it was funny you used a plural people, but I guess if he is requested by more than just Smoke Man.
No, he is. He was in that poll that I read off to you guys. I think he was top 5. So he is in that. People do want this character. Plus, you get your Aquaman villain, and you get your movie tie-in. It's killing all the birds with one stone. I guess maybe you could hold off to the last pack for Black Manta if you want to kind of get him closer to the Aquaman movie. I think that would be fair and reasonable and would make sense. But let's just say we're going with this. That way we get a hero, a villain, and then our guest character, and you get your female, male, and all that, and you get an Aquaman villain in there since he's missing another character. So that would be my 3 right off the bat to really just kind of push this thing off out of the gate hot. Like I said, I don't think Red Hood and Starfire are going to be in the same pack because you're going to want to kind of have a big blockbuster character that people have been really demanding in each pack. So that's my first 3. We'll kick it off. Razor, who are your 3? Who do you think would be best suited for that first pack?
Well, before I pick, I think you're giving them a lot of credit to think there's a mandatory female. Like, Combat Pack 2 certainly didn't have one unless you count Alien, but that feels like cheating.
But they did count Alien, so they did cheat. They are not above cheating. But
All right.
I think we're at least, out of the 9 characters, I think 2 will be female. That's my guess. I don't think the third pack or the second pack, but I guess it could always be the first one that skips out as well. But anyways, go ahead.
Okay. Gosh, I guess. I mean, I think they'll do Red Hood before they do Starfire. I think he'll be the first because he is the most requested. My guess for guest, and I mean, this is, like, calling it a guest is sort of weird because DC owns him, but I'm going to say the Watchmen character, Rorschach, will probably be before Spawn, if Spawn is even really a thing.
Okay.
For a female character, I honestly, other than Starfire, I don't know who they're even thinking of doing, but I hope we get Zatanna back.
Okay. So that's, if you had to pick 3, that's who you'd go. That's not a bad, those aren't bad picks at all. I think that would get a ton of people happy. To answer your question, though, in terms of other females that might be likely, I think Mera, Batwoman, Catwoman, Katana, I think...
Oh, you know what? Yeah, Batwoman, actually, I could definitely see them doing because she's had such a prominent role in the comic.
Yeah. And I think Katana stands a reasonable chance with Suicide
You're
Squad
right.
and stuff
I forgot
like
about
that.
her,
But yeah, there are some options, but yeah. Okay, so those are your 3, though? Okay. Shab?
Okay. Red Hood, Sub-Zero, because fuck you, it's going to be Sub-Zero. We know.
You think they're going to lead with an MK character?
We know. They know that we know. Let's just endless, pointless charade and get it over with.
All right.
Like, that. This seems to me to have been part and parcel of their marketing campaign and strategy going forward. It's like, yes, we know that you know about this thing now. Here's the thing. they haven't been bullshitting us, and I really, really do appreciate that. So
Right.
I think very much it's going to be Sub-Zero. I don't have any faith in Spawn whatsoever to actually be a thing that happens. Rorschach is a very, very strong candidate. That they're doing this whole crossover thing in the comics now, which I can't be bothered to check out. So for purposes of promotion, I can absolutely see it being Rorschach, which means no question, which means God fucking damn it. When the hell does a question get his goddamn due?
So we have Red Hood, we have Sub-Zero. Who's your third?
I'm going to be a really odd man out here and say Donna Troy. I have absolutely no idea what they would give Donna Troy as special moves, things to really differentiate her from Wonder Woman. I don't know. I honestly don't.
Donna Troy is Supergirl or Wonder Girl?
You could say that, yeah. Okay. She's gone by a few names over the past. I primarily know her as Donna Troy.
Okay. All right.
And I just figure that like she's kind of like a long existing character who just kind of you want to talk about people who are like actually long-term favorites, classic comic characters that never really seem to get their due. I think Donna Troy is actually one of them, and they've been pretty good about representing Wonder Woman's characters in this game and the past game. For as much as I don't care much about Ares, I was surprised to see him present. So I don't think that Donna Troy is as out of the question as she might appear to be, or any other standard member of the Titans at first glance. I think she's got a fair chance. I kind of hope she gets it.
Cool.
I feel like Donna Troy is one of the most like forgotten and like she's like how do I she's kind of like the Reign of the DC universe. Like the creators don't seem to like her and want to use her, but people do like her. And the problem with her, I think, other than the fact that she's literally the twin sister of Wonder Woman, and it's like there's not much difference between them, is that she has such a goddamn convoluted backstory. Like they've retconned and re-retconned it 3 or 4 times, and it makes about as much sense as like Scott Summers' family tree or Hawkman's secret identity at this point. I don't know. Like I feel like
you can always pull an Ultimate Venom. Simplify that shit for a new continuity.
You easily,
it ain't hard.
You easily could. In terms of having her as a fighting game character, I'm wondering like what would she do different? Like she's Diana with maybe not the lasso.
I know, like that's why I was saying I don't know what the hell they'd give her, but I think that it's an avenue that's very definitely worth exploring. It would be a challenge, and one we'd like to see them take up. And for the record, for the future, I think that like if we're gonna like have at least one character from each main or as many main rogues galleries or rosters as you possibly can, I wouldn't say Mera because it's gonna be Black fucking Manta. I think he's kind of a shoo-in.
So makes sense with the movie.
I think the thing about like the hoping for one character per major franchise thing is how much does the existence of Premier skins throw that off? Because you could easily just do Ocean Master as a skin for Aquaman, and then you're done.
I also don't think that they would expect people to pay money for Ocean Master because what the fuck is Ocean Master?
He's the main bad guy of the ocean stuff they've been doing lately. He's Aquaman's brother who tries to take over Atlantis.
So he's the Owlman to Batman.
Well, yeah, basically, but except like he shows up in way more stuff. Like they did that Throne of Atlantis movie, which is basically animated Aquaman's origin, and Ocean Master is the main villain of that, and Black Manta is just a henchman. And it sounds like that's exactly how it's going to be in the live-action movie, too.
Okay, but Aquaman's archenemy is always going to be that dork with the giant oval helmet. You understand this?
I mean, one would hope. I'm just saying they've been pushing Ocean Master a lot harder and making Manta just work for him in all the stuff lately.
I think that there's just a significant difference between trying to push really hard to get your character to be taken seriously, and they've done a wonderful job of that with Aquaman in recent years, and casting Momoa is like the greatest step that they could have taken towards that. I think it's possible to redeem any character, but it's a lot harder to when a character has that specific type of a relationship with an arch nemesis. It's a very, very hard task to sell a completely new one and try to put the other one in the background. And I don't know why you'd want to do that to Black Manta anyway. Just fix the dorky helmet, or don't. We kind of love it.
I don't know that anyone thinks the helmet is dorky. It's kind of his thing.
I think people kind of love it because it's dorky and weird and giant and unwieldy.
Sure.
That's why I love it.
All right.
All I know is that it seems like you can't tell Aquaman's origin without doing Ocean Master as the bad guy, and that's why it keeps being the story they tell in the movies that they make. But I guess for a video game where Aquaman's just been around for a long time, yeah, why not go with the guy that people actually like better, which is Manta. I'm just saying, like, there might be, like, a thought in the developers' heads of, like, well, we'd like to have one guy from each thing, but if we can just do it as a skin, then we don't have to make a whole character, do we?
Ocean Master would be really, really easy to pull off, probably a given. I'm just saying, if we had to pay for one character from the Aquaman universe, there's only one character people I think are really going to be ready to throw down those bucks for. And that's all.
All right, Temp, do you have your 3 ready?
Just to verify, it's any 3, right?
Yeah,
No
you do whatever.
specific...
Yeah, you don't have to stick to the formula I did. That was just what I think.
The guest character's the hardest. I guess I'm going to go Spawn. Honestly, I don't think if they do Watchmen, which I think is a strong likelihood, I don't necessarily think they're going to go with Rorschach. I think they may go Dr. Manhattan just for gameplay purposes. I don't know who they're selling harder in the comics right now with the whole crossover stuff. So that's a tough one. But regardless, I'd probably go Spawn. I think they're going to wait in the Watchmen because that movie bombed. I know they realize they have fans, but Spawn is just, in terms of just his historical popularity, is a much better choice in my opinion. I'm going to say Red Hood just because I don't think Starfire was ever in the cards until recently. I think the Starfire backlash came way too late. I never, ever thought she was going to be a DLC character. I don't know if that's true. I got to be careful what I say, because I can't remember everything I've ever said on the Nethercast, but I never thought she was a given. Let me say that.
Somebody
Starfire
had her on her... Yeah. Somebody had her on their wish list. I thought it was you.
That was me.
Okay,
that was me.
Like, wait, hold on a second.
She was high up there too. She was like number 5, I think. But once I saw, like, I don't know. I really thought she was going to be in the game, and she wasn't in the game. I gave up all hope of her being DLC because I think they just don't know. I think if they know, they just found out. I don't think there's a strong likelihood that. I think she's going to be the Martian Manhunter in this game. I think they're going to shoot her into the last minute if she's in it at all. I think Carol Ferris has an even better chance than she does. Just because I think all the Starfire love just came too late. If they didn't see Martian Manhunter coming, I don't think there's any way they saw Starfire coming. So I'm going to say Red Hood. I think Red Hood is a given. We all know he's in the game. It's a matter of waiting at this point. The third one, I'm going to go. Another reason why I don't think Rorschach is going to be in the game, I'm going to say Constantine. I think Constantine is probably a very strong balance of popular, well-known enough, and well demanded. I think Constantine has a very strong chance. So, Spawn, Red Hood, Constantine. You have your power mixes in there as well.
Yeah, that'd be a hell of a pack for sure. I think that would sell really, really well. And that's kind of where I'm going off, is meeting what people want and really building up hype, because you know that first pack has got to be something like these. You at least got to have one character that people are really clamoring for in that pack to really sell it and get people excited. You can't have 3 lemons and announce that before your game even comes out, otherwise people are just gonna be like, what, really? That's what we're getting for DLC? Fuck. But no, I think those are 3 solid options, and I think all 3 of those would make my list of eventual, like they're gonna be in the pack somewhere, I would pretty much guarantee. But yeah, so yeah, that's a solid pack to lead off with, and that's ultimately the only reason I asked. We're not really predicting who it's going to be. We're not really giving our own personal wish list. This is more just if we were in charge of the 3 we would lead with that we think would meet, would hype up people and get them excited and really meet some fan demand. What 3 characters would you start off with? Doesn't necessarily mean you're leaving off other characters for the rest of the packs.
Did you know that if you just Google search Dr. Manhattan under images, the third category search result you get is a dong? This is over quotes, movie, and wallpaper. In order. Watchmen characters, comic, dong, quotes, movie, wallpaper.
I remember
not getting Dr. Manhattan. No one's getting Dr. Manhattan. It's not happening.
There was a significant period of time, like a year after the movie came out, where if you were on 4chan and they were talking about Watchmen, they would actually never use his name. They would call him Blue Penis Never Erect, as though that was his name.
And you know what? Like, the movie, like, heavily over-exaggerated all that shit. In the comics, the nudity is much more reserved. So, like, Snyder added, like, a few inches there, no doubt. And I don't know why he did that, but it happened.
All right.
Because they knew people were going to pay attention.
I know why he did that, but I don't really want to talk about what's wrong with Zack Snyder's brain right now.
Yeah, we could have ourselves a podcast based on that alone.
Let's wrap this up. So we have another stream tomorrow, so I'm sure we'll hopefully get an actual official Joker trailer reveal. Maybe we'll get some DLC characters announced. Who knows? It could be after the game. You never know with them, but it has been done before where they've done it 2 or 3 weeks before the game comes out. Or maybe we're getting premiere skins. You never really know what they're going to do. Or maybe it's just another stream where it's just like, meh. There's not a whole lot really there. It's just more for casual fans to get, more eyes on the product that weren't on there before. Maybe not so much for the hardcore audience that's following it every single day. So you never know, but hopefully, we'll get a little bit more to bite onto. And anything that does happen, we will be discussing next week. So thank you guys for tuning in. Check out the closed Facebook group if you haven't already. It's not the page that you like. It's the Facebook group that's closed. Go ahead and ask to join. We got a nice community there where we're constantly posting things every day. Like the video. You can check us out on iTunes as well. And we will see you next week, next Thursday, for another edition of the Nethercast. You guys take care.
Have a good one.
Later.
Good night.
Outstanding.